Is it a good time to buy a house? Yes. Kidding. But in all seriousness, the only two options available are buying a house or renting a house. And whether or not it's a good time for you to buy or rent is largely an individual question. Renting offers flexibility. If your job requires you to move frequently, or you're in a position where you're unsure if you're going to be in one spot for a while, then renting might be a good option for you. For example, if you're a traveling nurse and you're only in one place for 6 to 9 months at a time, renting a place might be better than purchasing one. The closing costs of buying and selling homes over and over again, on top of the fact that being pre-qualified takes a little bit of time, can make renting a much more smooth and flexible process. Renting typically requires a smaller upfront investment of capital, and you don't usually have to worry about things like repair and maintenance of large appliances. There are many situations where a person would be better off renting than buying, and I am not the type of person to say that everyone should buy a house no matter what their situation is. However, if you plan to stay in this next property for 5 to 10 years, you may be better off buying it. Renting limits your ability to customize the space and offers less stability than purchasing. Your landlord could raise the price of rent or sell the house out from underneath you, forcing you to move out. And while it may be cheaper out of pocket initially to rent than purchase, you may be losing out on a lot of money overall if you're going to be in the place for a while. If you intend to occupy the property for the next 5 years or longer, and you can afford the monthly payment for the house that would fit your needs, I think it's time to purchase, regardless of what the market's doing or what interest rates are doing. And here's why. For the sake of this discussion, there are generally two types of real estate markets: low interest rate markets and high interest rate markets. The difference between a low interest rate market and a high interest rate market is mostly determined by what the general public thinks is a low interest rate market or a high interest rate market. Value is mostly determined by sentiment and what people feel like the market is doing. In a low interest rate market, monthly payments are cheaper. This is great for buyers as they can get a lower monthly payment right out of the gate. But there are some downsides to low interest rate markets as well. If you're shopping for a home in a low interest rate market, the odds are pretty good that there are many other shoppers in that market too. Everyone wants a low interest rate, so when interest rates are considered low, everyone will try to buy. If everyone thinks that it's a good time to buy and a bunch of people are shopping, competition goes up quite substantially. If the market is competitive enough, buyers will begin to pay more than the sales price for homes and do crazy things like waive inspections to get their offer accepted. This kind of market tends to push home prices up, and some buyers end up losing out on several homes that they submit offers on, and that can be heartbreaking. The other kind of market, a high interest rate market, has some advantages that I don't think enough people consider. If the general public considers interest rates to be high, there will be fewer buyers shopping, and therefore less competition. Sellers will often need to lower their prices and will offer incentives to buyers like extra repairs or concessions toward their closing costs. Buyers have all of the power and control in a market like that. They're more likely to get their offer accepted if it's the only one on the table. The big downside to buying in a high interest rate market is the monthly payment being more expensive up front, but stick with me. If you can handle the monthly payment where it's at for possibly a couple of years, knowing that it's not going to increase, unlike with renting, then you may still be in a great position. At some point, interest rates will come down, and then you will win 3 times. 1, you got the house that you wanted under the conditions that you wanted. The price that you wanted, possibly even concessions towards your closing costs, you got your repairs that you needed to get done, and you didn't need to fight with 7 other buyers to get that house. 2, you can now refinance into these lower interest rates without a lot of stress of having to find a home quickly. 3, buyers entering the market due to the lower interest rates will push all home prices up, including yours. You can either sit on this instant equity or pull cash out and do with it what you will. Either way, you've won 3 times. Real estate is a long-term strategy, one that often requires sacrifices to be made regardless of what situation you're in. As the economist and author Thomas Sowell once said, "There are no solutions, there are only trade-offs." The right time to buy real estate may differ depending on what your situation is, but the general principles remain the same. I believe that trying to time the real estate market is a bad strategy. Once everybody thinks that it's a great time to buy something, be it stocks, crypto, real estate, you name it, it's already too late. Anyway, I hope I've given you something to think about. Push all the buttons down below, click the link in the description if you want to contact me directly. I'll see you in the next one.